Well, it's 6 p.m. The polls have closed, the votes are cast, and the counting will now begin in this most unusual of state elections. Welcome to SA Votes. I'm Annabelle Crabb. Joining me in the ABC Election Centre is state political reporter Nick Harmson. G'day, Nick.
G'day, Annabelle. Well, to read the political tea leaves tonight, we've assembled a crack team of senior MPs. Deputy Liberal leader Vicky Chapman, Labor frontbencher Kaya Ma, and Nick Xenophon's only successful lower house candidate so far, the federal member for Mayo, Rebecca Sharkey. Two of the state's sharpest number crunchers are also with us, Shadow Treasurer Rob Lucas and the retiring Labor Speaker Michael Atkinson. But there's no one closer to the numbers than the ABC's election analyst, Anthony Green.
And this is an extraordinary election. The government's been there for 16 years. It's got back into government at the last two elections with a minority of the vote. But this election is decided by seats in Parliament. But this election is even slightly weirder because we've got the Nick Xenophon team. We've seen a breakdown of the two-party system, a strange hybrid three-party contest which has gripped the nation. And tonight we find out what the result is.
It's going to be a wild night. Stick with us. This is SA Votes.
World-class health, great schools and jobs as our #1 priority.
Change is needed, real change.
Decent people, ordinary people trying to do something extraordinary.
Anthony, I've got to say it's a great pleasure to be back in my hometown with you this evening for this crazy election night. Now, I remember being here in 1997 in this same room with you when Nick Xenophon made his first incursion into the state political scene. And a lot of noise has happened since then, not least in this campaign. But can we start by having you remind us of the basics? Who needs to do what in the House of Assembly to form government in this town?
Yes. And just before I finish up, one last look at Mawson and see if there's been an update. There hasn't been an update. As I said, Mawson remains the only seat in doubt at the end of the night.
Anthony Green, Nick, thank you very much for that masterful run of the board. You know that Rob Lucas's senior public servants aren't the only people who are going to be working tomorrow. The coverage continues over, first of all, Insiders on ABC TV tomorrow morning, where Barry Cassidy will be revisiting and examining this result. His guest, I believe, is Julie Bishop, South Australian a local who will be sure to have some views on tonight's outcome. News Online, of course, will be covering this momentous election result with great fervour over the course of the day tomorrow. And Anthony Green's Twitter feed shall not be silent because, as I understand it, Anthony will be updating over the course of the day. So, and of course, the 7 p.m. news here in South Australia. Thanks again to our very patient panel, whom we will now release to their celebrations or commiserations. Thanks again to you, Anthony Green. And of course, thank you to you for being with us here tonight on SA Votes. It's good night from us.